I can create equations from lines/line from equations. Some jokes. Hi, I want to learn the splits. How flexible are you? I can't make Wednesdays. Hey, smart assistant. Greetings, Belle. I need a favor. Ordering 100 counts of dog treats. Wink, wink. It's time for our daily review. Since we have an equation, we'll start by doing the opposite operations. The opposite of plus 5 is minus 5. 11 minus 5 is 6. We're left with a over 7 on the left side. Now we have to multiply both sides by 7. And a equals 42. That's going to be it for our daily review. Let's review some vocabulary. When we have an equation for slope, this is our equation of a line, where m stands for slope. That's equal to a rise over run. The y-intercept is b, and on the y-line, that's where the line intercepts or goes through y. Over here, for rise over run, which is equal to our slope, if we had an equation like 2x plus 2, what would be the y-intercept? The y-intercept would be 2. And my slope would be also 2. Now over here, on this line, to determine the steepness of the line, or the slope, I have to rise up and count the corners. 1, 2, 3. Now I have to go over that many to the right. 1, 2. So my rise is 3. My rise is 3, and my run is 2. Remember that rise over run is the same thing as change in y over change in x. Because the rise is going up, and the x, or the y, and the x is going to the right. Also notice how it makes a triangle. You can also see that the rise over run is equivalent for each rise over run. Some other special examples of slope are an undefined slope, where x is minus 3, x is 1, and x is 5. You cannot determine the slope, nor can you determine what the y-intercept is. This is a line with a zero slope because it's completely flat. We'll come back to graphing. We'll come back to determining slope on a line, but first let's fill in a table. Here we're given the equation y equals x plus 22.5. Let's fill in our x. And on our table on the left, we'll pick 4 numbers. So if x equals 0, how much is y? Y is equal to 2 5/10. The second question, if x is 1, y is 3 5/10. If x is 2, y is 4 5/10. And if x is 3, y is 5 5/10. I'm going to pause the video for a second, and I'm going to draw a graph for the following numbers. I encourage you to do the same. So here we have our graph Since we have all positive numbers, I'm only going to use the first quadrant. So let's go ahead and graph our numbers. We have 0 and 2 and 5/10. Then we have 1 and 3 and 5/10. We have 2 and 4 and 5/10. And 3 and 5 and 5/10. So our line looks like this. Now use a straight edge and connect your points. So here I have a special example here. This is one of the two here, and it's an undefined slope. So I cannot create an equation for the following. So x is at 1, 2, 3, x minus 3. So that's my answer, x minus 3. Let's do one more example here. Look at the graph. Let's determine what the slope is, y-intercept, and equation. The y-intercept is 70. What about the slope? Well, I have to look for a point here. Here's a point. Here's a point. Okay? So now I have to do rise over run to figure out what my slope is. So I'll rise up 1. I'll go over 1, 2. Same thing. Rise up 1. Go over 1, 2. So my slope is then, or by m, is a half. So what is my equation? My equation is half x plus 70. Today we learned how to create equations from lines and lines from equations.